Hi everyone, this is TNN10 from TNN10. World War II and the incident afterwards, especially the Cold War, remain a grave topic worldwide. Most of the people are still influenced by this terrible incident. But why did Japan attack Pearl Harbor? Why did they, in a trend of victory, decided to ambush the most powerful country during the period? The Pearl Harbor incident happened on the 7th December 1941. Japan launched a surprise air attack on the US naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, forcing the US to be involved in this world war. Japan was eagerly seeking more territories and more power in Asia. Japan was conquering countries on water, so they know that they had to do something like ambush Pearl Harbor. They knew that the US was going to step in to the East warfare if Japan expanded too much. So Japan decided to attack first, to bomb the closest harbor, Pearl Harbor. I'll move the camera to Casper.
Hi, I'm Casper Wire, and let's get started. Little do they know, their plan is not strong and thorough enough. Their surprise attack worked. I mean a surprise, but not the attack. The damage dealt to Pearl Harbor was not deep enough, and some of the best ships and planes were not at the shore, which made Japan not doing some real damage to the US Navy. This action not only surprised, but also made the US mad. And when I say mad, I mean really mad.
After the ambush, the US declared war on Japan. A few days later, Italy, Germany declared war on the US, and the nation was fully engaged in the war. 4 years later, after defeating Germany in the West, the US turned all the attention to the east side to handle the situation. When they were trying to capture Okinawa, Japan launched kamikaze, a suicide attack on the US Navy, but eventually failed and Okinawa was captured. Lastly, on August 6th and 9th, the US developed 2 atomic bombs named the Little Boy and the Fat Man, which were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. After this terrible incident, Japan had to surrender because of this deadly weapon that only the US possessed. In September, Japan surrendered, ending this deadly war. Just a short demonstration, they basically look like this.
Surprise attack!
Anyways, yeah, that's basically what happened. But things are not done after this. After World War II, as fascism faded, the competition between the Democracy Party and the Communism Party started, also known as the Cold War. Even though it's called a Cold War, where there was no direct conflict between the two powerful nations, small conflicts representing the two beliefs broke out in different places. For example, the Korean War. I'll now move the camera to Kevin Azus to explore deeper on Korean War.
This is Kevin Azus, and let's get started with the Korean War. The US was again in another trouble. Both fought on sudden military equipment and soldiers to Korea to try to defend communism from spreading, which lasted about 3 years. The Korean War started on June 25, 1950 to July 27, 1953. This war was ostensibly an internal conflict between North and South Korea, but it was actually an indirect war between communism and capitalism. The Soviet Union was helping North Korea, while the US was helping South Korea. After years of hard work and family separation, both sides of Korea came into a consensus of borderline. Neither crosses the border nor fought each other in the area, ending the internal conflict that lasted for 3 years.
And for the Korean War, it basically looks like this. Yes, they got into a stalemate afterwards.
Okay, let's transition back to Anthony Copper Wire.
Hi, this is Anthony Copper Wire, and I'm back in the game. Continue about the Cold War. Just some people think that the conflict between communism and nationalism are settled. The Cuban crisis emerges to remind us that this huge strife is continuing. The US and the USSR control the technology of intercontinental ballistic missiles, which can cover a maximum range of 18,000 kilometers. In 1959, the US publicly displaced 45 missiles in Turkey and Italy. It's only 2,000 kilometers away from Moscow. causing a public threat to the USSR. At about the same period, Cuba, where they experienced the revolution and turned into a communist country, was mad at the US. So both the Soviet Union and Cuba reached a consensus to set up other missile launchers in Cuba to combat the threat from the US. After that, the US and the Soviet Union had meetings and discussions. After 3 extremely intense days, both of the nations agreed not to fire the missiles and destroy the world. So they both retrieved the missiles and the Cuban crisis ended.
10 seconds trivia. How long did World War II last? Exactly 6 years, 6 years and 1 day, 6 years and 4 days, or 6 years and 5 days? The answer is 6 years and 1 day, from September 1, 1939 to September 2, 1945.
I'll now move the stage to Caroline Bambuzo to talk about current events.
Welcome to Caroline Bambuzo.
Boom!
Continuing from the aftermath of World War II and the Cold War, there are still a lot of wars and conflicts in places like Crimea and eastern Ukraine. The taking over of Crimea by Russia in 2014, along with the continuing conflict with eastern Ukraine, highlights the ongoing tension. Furthermore, the recent expiration of the New START treaty between the US and Russia has raised significant concerns about the potential of a renewed arms race, emphasizing the urgent need of continuing efforts in nuclear arms control. Additionally, debates surrounding historical narratives remain contentious, with disputes over war memorials, history educations, and the acknowledgement of the past atrocities, shaping contemporary discourse. These ongoing discussions reflect the complexities of reconciling differing interpretation of pivotal historical events and their implication for current geopolitics.
This is Anthony Soy Sauce Wire. After this cold topic, let's talk about something funnier and something more approachable to the audience. The Guinness World Record during World War II. First of all, this is the costliest war ever. Cost the United States over $341 billion and the Soviet Union over $192 billion. The cost of World War II is said to be more expensive than all the costs of wars between World War II. Some countries like UK spent 5 times more money in World War II than in World War I. Second, the war with the most deaths. This is one of the saddest records to ever exist. According to the Guinness World Record, this war cost over 56 million people's lives. This is 2% of the whole population in 1945. I sincerely hope that this is the last time this record will be updated. Third, the oldest male author. Pearl Harbor survivor Jim Downing became the oldest male author on record when he published his book, The Other Side of Infamy, in 2016, detailing his experiences at Pearl Harbor and in the Pacific. The book was published when Downing was 102 years old. Lastly, the longest undetected spy. Melita Norwood, born on March 25th, 1912 and died on June 2nd, 2005, was a spy serving the Soviet Union during World War II and the Cold War. She was disguised as a British secretary and kept bringing nuclear secrets from the office where she worked into Moscow for 37 years.
Special shout out to Mr. Booth, our history teacher, and thanks to all of our reporters, Caroline Bambuzo, Boom, Kevin Azus, me, myself, Casper Wire, and our one and only reporter, Anthony Wong, also known as Anthony Copper Wire, aka Anthony Soy Sauce Wire. And see you next time on TNN10. Bye.
Oh no, gringe.